Hello everyone, welcome to Chef Salim's Recipe YouTube channel. In this video, I will try to make baked stuffed meatballs. It will be my first time making them, and I will use an easy technique. As you can see, the filling I will use is beef kavurma. This is a kavurma that we produce ourselves. It contains only beef and salt, nothing else. It is a natural kavurma with no additives. It is a ready-made product, so it may look like salami, but this is meat kavurma. It is very good, very delicious, and can be consumed at breakfast. It has been cooked this way, and I really enjoy eating it cold. For example, about 30 years ago, when I was a child, they would cook the meat in a pot. Then it would solidify on its own with the fat and be stored in a cool place. Back then, there were no refrigerators. Yes, friends, when we were living in caves, that's how we used to do it. Now, I guess we have started to miss that flavor. Practical tip. When making kavurma, be sure to drain the fat thoroughly and collect the excess fat in a separate container. You can use this fat in other dishes later. Do not pour it down the sink as it can cause blockages. After cutting the kavurma, I will add it to the pot and soften it a little more. It may be a bit tough for stuffed meatballs. It has been cooked, but cooking it a bit more would be better. I will massage it in the pot, adding some water, and boil it for about half an hour. While it boils, I will prepare the onions. After about 15 minutes, I will chop them. If you rub your knife with lemon juice, your eyes won't burn while chopping the onions. Anko pro tip. Pro tip. To prevent your eyes from burning while chopping onions, dip the knife in cold water or refrigerate the onions for a while before cutting them. Now I am adding the chopped onions. The meat has boiled, and now we will add the spices. I will add some black pepper, some red pepper flakes, and a little cumin. I'm not adding salt because the kavurma already contains salt. Now I will cover the pot and let it simmer for half an hour. As you can see here, we will prepare the outer coating of the stuffed meatballs. You can see the necessary ingredients: fine bulgur, semolina, and wheat flour, as well as salt, tomato paste, and a little ground red pepper. Later, I will add 2 eggs. First, let's start by adding our fine bulgur. We are adding the fine bulgur using this 300 milliliter glass. 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups, and 5 full cups. Now, after 5 cups of bulgur, I'm adding 1.5 cups of wheat flour and 2 cups of semolina. There are actually different recipes for making this. Some make it only with bulgur, some do not add flour, and some use both semolina and bulgur. I am experimenting to see which one is the best. Practical tip: when preparing the bulgur and semolina mixture, add the boiling water suddenly and mix it well. This ensures that the dough becomes more homogeneous. We will add some tomato paste, water, and ground red pepper. I want to mention this: we add the water in a measured way. It will be 6 cups of water. Now I have added some tomato paste. I am boiling the water, and we will add it while it is boiling. While it is boiling, I wandered around for a bit to pass the time. Now our water has boiled, and we are pouring it over the fine bulgur. Be careful not to burn your hands. After adding it, we mix it immediately. After mixing well with a wooden spoon, we cover it and let it rest for about 15 minutes. Pro tip: while letting the dough rest, cover it with a damp cloth. This prevents the dough from drying out and makes it easier to shape. While it rests for those 15 minutes, let's chop the green peppers, red peppers, and a bunch of parsley that we will add to our kavurma. Let's quickly chop these finely. After chopping the parsley, we will also add the essential ingredient of stuffed meatballs, walnuts. We crush the walnuts by pressing them with a rolling pin. After breaking the walnuts and chopping everything, we mix them with the peppers. After adding some black pepper and a little thyme, we pour them into a tray. When crushing walnuts, put them in a bag and press them with a rolling pin. This prevents the walnuts from scattering and makes them easier to crush. Later, the kavurma in the pot will have softened. We carefully open the lid and drain the excess fat from the kavurma. This excess fat is a big problem, friends. It will definitely clog your sinks. There should not be this much fat, but anyway. The method for disposing of this fat is to pour it into another container or simply not use it. You can use this fat, but I will not. This is how it turned out. Pro tip: after draining the excess fat, store it in a jar in the refrigerator. You can use this fat in other dishes later. Now, 15 minutes later, we will knead this mixture. We are breaking 2 eggs into it. We do not break them while it is too hot. We wait for the mixture to cool before adding the eggs. While mixing, press it firmly as you knead so that it becomes sticky. Achieving this stickiness is important. Some people do this differently and incorrectly. They try to do it on textured trays, but that does not work, friends. You must press it in a flat steel tray. Practical tip: do not oil or wet your hands while kneading the dough. The stuffed meatball dough should stick to your hands. This stickiness is crucial for keeping its shape. If the dough does not stick, the stuffed meatballs will struggle to hold their shape and may fall apart. Now we divide it evenly. We have divided them evenly. As you can see, each one weighs 100 grams. We obtain 100-gram dough balls and slightly moisten them. Do not moisten them too much. They should not be dry, but should not dry out either. If you're going to wait, cover them so they do not dry out. Pro tip: when moistening the dough balls, do not use too much water. Just lightly dampen them, otherwise the dough may fall apart. Now, as you can see, when we make a hollow in the center, excess fat collects there, and we can remove the fat from that hollow. Now I'm trying a simple and practical method, friends. I had a dough rolling machine and I will use it to roll out the dough. This way, I place it inside and press it, so it is not shaped like traditional stuffed meatballs, but these will be baked. This is how we will make them. The first one I made was too thin, so it fell apart. I will not press too hard this time and move on to my second attempt. Now in my second attempt, I press very lightly to shape the stuffed meatball dough. After placing the filling inside, I close it. Why did the first one fall apart? Because it was too thin and the filling was still warm. The filling should not be warm, friends. If your filling is hot when you fill it, it will fall apart. Use it when it is cold. Practical tip: use the filling while it is cold. If it is hot, the dough may fall apart and shaping will be difficult. Before placing them on the baking tray, I oil the tray. After oiling it, we place them like this and bake them. I moisten the dough slightly. You do not need a dough rolling machine for this. If you place the dough in a plastic bag and press it with a plate or the bottom of a pot, it will also flatten. I'm giving you a practical tip, so please appreciate it. Support me by commenting on my videos, subscribing, sharing my videos, and leaving a like. Pro tip: while rolling out the dough, you can use plastic wrap to prevent it from tearing, especially if you are making thin dough. Now, after placing them on the tray, we oil the outside as well. We filled them, oiled the outside, and baked them. I baked them at 180 degrees. They turned out great, golden on the bottom, a little browned on top. I cooked it at 180 degrees and it turned out very nice. The bottom is browned and the top is also slightly browned. The edges have become very dry, but now, whoever can eat it, go ahead, my friends. Since it is too dry, we are making ayran to go with it. You definitely need something to drink with this. Syrup could also work. I am tasting it now and the taste is quite good. It resembles İçli. Thank you for watching. See you in new recipe videos. Goodbye.